So here are some of the notable relegations in the Premier League. In 1998, Blackburn Rovers had won the league 4 years prior. They were favourites going into the season and got relegated. Then a Leeds team that made the Champions League semi-finals in 2001, excuse me. They got relegated in 2003-2004 season. Then a couple of years later, Newcastle got relegated. That team had Michael Owen and Damien Duff. And after winning the Premier League in 2016, Leicester got relegated in 2023. Now that team had your Tillemans, Jamie Vardy and James Maddison. So will this Tottenham side be joining that list? Remember, this is a Tottenham side that has never been relegated from the Premier League. So I'm going to be sending it over to the boys at the wall to talk about the remaining fixtures Tottenham have in the Premier League.
It's kind of scary, no? Because not even Premier League champions are safe in Blackburn, in Leicester City. You win the Premier, you can still get relegated.
That's why it's the best league in the world.
It's unbelievable.
That's why. You see Wolves beating Liverpool. It's just the way that the Prem works. And if you are not only notably missing the target with transfers year on year, but swinging drastically from one style of football to the next, one style of manager to the next.
Like, who do you think has been doing that recently that's in a relegation battle? Oh, sorry. Great transition there, Troy. These are the remaining fixtures for Spurs in the Premier League. Mind you, they've only won 2 games at home this season. And they've come, like you said, Troy, in the previous segment, in 4 months
apart, so it's like quarters, like business quarters is what they're called.
Okay, all right, let's go through it and see if Spurs are going to stay up. At Liverpool.
I can't see it, unfortunately. Liverpool haven't been great, but I just don't know what we're going to hang our hat on with Spurs, so I'm going to say that'll be a loss.
Loss, all right. At home against Nottingham Forest, relegation scrap here.
A week ago, I would have said, yeah, no problem, they'll beat this. I think Forest have turned the corner and their guys have hit rock bottom.
Mind you, both these teams, this is their in-between European fixture matchup. Not that Spurs at this point care so much about the Champions League.
I'm going to say draw, but I'm actually leaning to Forest, if I'm being totally honest.
I think Nottingham Forest would have an eye on the Europa League.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaning to draw.
Spurs does on the Champions League. At Sunderland. Ooh.
I don't like this one at all. I'm going to go Sunderland to win that one. I think Sunderland just outbeat them up.
So 1 point from the first 9 against Brighton at home. When's our home win? We got to give them a
you know what? I will give them the Brighton one because I don't know what Brighton are either. This is the first time in about 12 years. I'm not sure who Brighton are. I think they've missed for the first time in the transfer market. They've got very young. So I'm going to give them a win against Brighton.
Okay. So we're looking for a typical safety in the Prem, which is around 40 points. And we've just given them 4 more. Where are they at right now?
33. Oh, 33. So, that brings us up to 33, yeah?
Yeah, 33 with these.
Wolves today. Wolves are better than Spurs. So I would go... I'd have to go loss. I'd have to go loss to Wolves. And I know Hannah's going to say I'm being biased here.
Don't do it.
The only reason I think they will beat Aston Villa is I think Villa will go deeper in the European competition and will start prioritising that because I think they'll fall out of the top 5.
Okay.
So they have to win the Europa League to get Champions League football.
Okay.
So I'm going to give them a win there.
36 points. Right now, we're looking for 4 more points
in
these next 3 games.
The problem you have with this is at this moment in time, obviously we're judging it based on the results of late. Leeds United could be safe, home dry, play with carefree. That could be more dangerous. I'm going to go loss there.
Okay, hold up. Sure, but think about 2 wins in their last 3. Winning at Villa, you don't think that's going to give them momentum too?
I do, but the one thing, it's not about the quality with Spurs. It's about the fight, it's about the heart, it's about the desire. Do you think they got more heart than
Leeds? No.
Do you think their fan base can outsing the Leeds fan base?
But perhaps they do turn the corner after beating Brighton.
Maybe.
And at Villa, it would be their first game back at home after winning that game at home.
But also that would be the win in Q3. This would be the win in Q4. So they've hit their target of 4 wins.
I feel so bad. We laugh, and there's Spurs fans on the other side just writhing in pain.
But they know it's true. Chelsea, they have a terrible record against Chelsea, so I'll put that down as a loss. And then Everton last game, I'm going to give them a win.
Okay, win at Everton. So we went from 29 points now. 30.
I think that puts us at 39 points.
36. 39. And you're telling me.
And I think that may just be enough.
Maybe in this.
But it's more on everybody else as opposed to Spurs.
So typical relegation is safe from relegation is 40 points.
Yeah.
And we just gave Spurs 39. It obviously depends on everybody else, but.
And
they're
again,
cutting
this
it
is
close.
it's just a prediction, guys. Don't start hammering me in the comments.
It's a lot of math.
So at the moment,
Been wrong on the numbers over
you have
here.
them just staying up.
Oh, I think it's going to be really close. At this moment in time, you'd be crazy to put your money on them to stay up because everybody else around them has shown improvement.
Yeah.
Spurs haven't.
Right.
Where new managers have all had a bounce. This one hasn't, and for me, I think if they are going to stay up, it's going to be because somebody else falls away, not because Spurs somehow just get better and kick on.
Well, let's go to our CBS Sports Premier League correspondent, James Benge. James, you've just seen what the boys have done there. They've just got them staying up in the Premier League. Do you agree with them? What are your thoughts on what they've just said?
Yeah, I actually agreed pretty much with every result there as well. I thought spot on. 39 points, that's going to be really tight, isn't it? 40 isn't normally the number, but I think the fact you've got three quite good teams down at the bottom means you've got to hit 40 to be sure. West Ham have got like the most difficult run in of the three, but they're probably the team you'd say is in the best form of late. Really good win against Fulham. So I think 39 would be like you've survived by your fingernails and you need to worry about next season as well. And that's just, it's so little room to manoeuvre because I couldn't see Spurs getting many more than 39, I have to say.
Brutal. There's been so much talk, Benge, about how a potential relegation can affect Spurs financially beyond anything, really. What would it mean for them to go into the Championship?
Oh, I mean, we would financially, we would not have seen a relegation like this. You are talking about one of the 10 to 12 richest clubs in the world, $750 million in revenue year in, year out, and you can start taking a machete to that revenue. Some of the highest ticket prices in the world. I'm going to maybe pick the wrong team here, but Troy, do you think there'd be many Tottenham fans paying £75 to see Spurs against Birmingham City in the Championship next season? I mean,
no, but you know what I think will play in their favour? I think a lot of Championship teams will take a lot of fans to that stadium. So they'll probably get more away fans than they would normally get, but 100% take your point. It was a bad team choosing Birmingham because we would sell out every ground, as you well know. But against dare I say, like a Preston or someone like that, it'd be very difficult to travel that far for the amount of money, especially on like a Tuesday night.
Did you not see the meme this morning on Twitter, James, of what it's like for Championship teams to go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it's Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
taking on a picture.
The bars.
Yeah, it would be like that, though, wouldn't it, Jay? I just wanted to ask you, like, in regards to this Spurs team, and obviously we saw the lack of home wins, 2 home wins this season. My argument has been that Daniel Levy's obviously left. He was like their blanket, was he? Their blame blanket. Everything was Daniel Levy's fault as to why it was. He's gone. At what point now do we look at the full structure of this and go, yes, we got a great stadium, yes, we got a great training ground, but it's been systemically broken for now 6-7 years. And yes, you can tell me they won the Europa League last year. It was the worst final in history with 2 very poor teams. But systemically, it's been broken for a while. Why do they keep getting it so wrong?
One thing I would say, I thought you hit the nail on the head saying it's a nice place to go. I think if you're an away fan, it's pretty pleasant. A bit of a walk to the ground, but beyond that, nothing to complain about. It's a fantastic arena.
It's lovely in media as well, isn't it, mate?
Oh, Troy, we love that. What I would say is...
From Seven Sisters to the ground, it's like... less than 10 minutes.
I have to go from South Tottenham.
He doesn't know.
Like another 5 minutes. I live around the corner from the Emirates. I have certain expectations. I think that, the real challenge is, I think for a while it's felt like quite a nice atmosphere, a soft atmosphere. It's been very easy for the players to ride out the blame landing first on Levy and then secondly the managers. I think, So many have been cycled through, none of them with a real sense of how they want to play and what the Tottenham identity might be. I think the recruitment, we have to say, has been really incredibly poor for the amount that's been spent. And I would just say, Tottenham buy their players and they seem to be looking at, and you talk to people that know, they look at players that can win a lot of duels. I don't really see any evidence that they're winning those duels when they put on a Tottenham shirt. But you also have these midfields that are completely lacking in technical ability, that can't get the ball up to these front players. And then when they do, the front players aren't good enough, aren't strong enough, aren't dynamic enough to do anything with it. So the recruitment has been incredibly poor. And I think that's because, someone like Daniel Levy tried to do too much, tried to be involved in too much, took too much joy from the sort of art of negotiating the deal and not enough from like finding the right players. They've had to radically overhaul their recruitment department in recent years. And yeah, this is all their chickens coming home to roost, really.
James, sorry to interrupt you, mate. I don't know if you got to see the images we just seen there. As a former player, it frustrates hell out of me. Did you see Basuma there with a star sticker on his face? Does that give you relegation battle? Does that give you, I'm ready to go to war?
You know what it is? You know what that star is?
Yeah, do you
not know what it is?
It's a. Okay, hold up. You're gonna.
Your mind is about to be blown.
Because I thought the same thing. You know what it is?
Go on.
It's a pimple patch.
Pardon?
So if you have a spot on your face, you put that on and it makes the spot less red.
Yeah.
It's.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
James, what are we doing,
He's
mate?
wearing the free badge.
What I would say,
Look,
There it is.
can you see
Eve,
that?
if you're watching this, you can just get ones that are like see-through.
Yeah.
And maybe don't look.
Do you know what you can do as well? Have bigger things to worry about than a spot on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like relegation.
This to me does feel a bit like, with the scales dramatically increased, it feels like the Leicester season where they went down, and it was probably at this sort of stage of the season where it maybe started to dawn on them. I thought Leicester were very unlucky that year, but they really sort of started to realise, like, oh no, we've not been taking this seriously enough. I think there's always a team, like, where every 3 or 4 years, there's a team that get dragged into it and they only realise at the last minute, this is really serious. You have to start worrying about this. And then that's when you panic. And when you panic is when you play the sort of abysmal football you played last night. And maybe when you panic is when you make the wrong decision on the head coach. And look, people are already asking the question. And after 3 games, that's a disaster.
Panicking in one league, but they're doing pretty well in Champions League, James, and they have an opportunity to continue that fight, but they're in a relegation battle. What do they prioritize right now between Champions League and the Premier League?
I mean, frankly, you kind of get out of the Champions League as quickly as you can. And you don't worry too much.
They will anyway. It's only a week we're talking about this.
I think we know that, James. I want to know the real question. Are they going to rotate in the Champions League to focus on the relegation battle?
You have to, but you don't have the players to. I mean, the one thing you would say in defence of Tudor, in defence of Thomas Frank, is this squad is always injured. 12 players out injured right now. So I don't know how you rotate without just putting the under-21s out on the pitch in the Champions League. And like, if Tudor does that, I probably wouldn't criticise him. You won't. You can't. People have paid their money to be there. But like, the real problem is he's only got the players he's got, and we're already seeing in press conferences he's not very impressed with them. Spurs fans aren't either. So
the academy players might have a little more fight, a little more bite, a little more grit if they get out on the pitch.
So just a thing on that though, James, really, really quick, because we do have to get to break. Last year was the same problem. I remember it was Ange Postecoglou's fault. The way he trained, it was all Ange. He leaves, now the same players and the same people are getting injured again. So at the top level, they've been complacent, ignorant, whatever the word you want to use, thinking, well, once everyone's fit, we'll be okay. But at what point do we start looking and go, well, maybe these players that just have to be moved on? And it's difficult to say, because when you're injured, no player wants to be injured. No one gets injured on purpose. But if you're injury prone, why aren't Spurs making these harsh, cutthroat decisions, go, right, player A, you're very good. Kulusevski was excellent. We don't actually know what's wrong with him anymore. We don't know when he's coming back. We've got to chop you and get rid of you because we need to clear the decks. Why aren't they making those decisions?
I mean, they obviously tried to cover the Kulusevski gap, but I think then it's only one player, and you're kind of really reliant on them. I think they just keep recruiting the wrong kinds of players. Is the honest answer. I think they would say, we did strengthen our wings with Kudus, got Odebear as well, but like the players aren't good enough. And then if you don't have your superstars like Kulusevski, you're really stuffed.